Hello world, this is Country Fried Special, again from Nashville, Tennessee. I am Joshua Black.
I'm Gowa.
And today we are talking about crime in country music. This is going to be interesting.
Murder in Music City.
Murder, She Wrote. Literally. It's been a lot of crazy stories here and happened here in Nashville and just in the country music hemisphere in general. So doing the research for this was dark, but it was fun and very interesting.
A lot of drama.
Yeah, it was a lot of
crazy. A lot
crazy.
of he said, she said.
A lot of passion crimes. And I think the first one, we can get straight into it. The one I found one of the most interesting was the murder of Dave Aikman, aka String Bean.
String Bean.
String Bean, cool last name. First of all,
cool guy. Very tall. You may know him as the super tall man who he normally had like the stripes on. He's on Hee Haw.
Yeah,
he was Grand Ole Opry.
He was a guy. He came to Nashville and started getting his dreams realized relatively early, and started getting to the bag early. Started seeing success. Got on that Hee Haw show, which was huge on television.
Clawhammer banjo.
Yep. Oh, he was a huge on the banjo too. He used to love the 5-string banjo.
Banjo up here, pants way down here.
Yeah. One of the first saggers. A lot of y'all blame hip hop. You got to blame String Bean.
That's true. String Bean started the trend of the sag.
Mm-hmm. They said there was a guy in prison that started that too, but I think that was an old myth. Said I guess he was a gay guy in prison. He was letting people know, hey, I have no underwear on, so.
Oh, so you can just take a look.
Yeah, that's what our teachers used to say in high school. That, hey, if you want to be like him, and we would be like, no, we can't sag because prisoners will want to do dirty things to us.
Damn.
But anyway, String Bean had the low ride pants, great on the banjo. Him and a guy named Grandpa Jones.
Best friends.
Yeah, they were best friends, and they were on the show on Hee Haw together.
Yeah.
Getting really popular. Now, we talked about his height, his cool looking fashion. He also used to be kind of flashy. People say he was kind of flashy, not crazy, but he was getting to the money. Flashy
when he wasn't on the stage, because his whole get up was like he was supposed to be looking crazy. He was supposed to look different.
Kind of, because he was kind of a comedian in a sense.
Yeah,
right.
He was. He did. He like made people. He was like a scarecrow character, basically. Was the point of his character.
Yeah, he had good music, but he was also really funny. He was good on the banjo, but he was really funny.
Yeah.
So like you're right. So on stage he was kind of a silly guy, but then they said he would often kind of flash money, not in a condescending way, but just kind of in a, hey, I came from nothing. I'm it's time to flex. I'm out here and I'm winning.
I know that he notoriously didn't use banks, or that it was public knowledge that he didn't use banks, so he normally had money on him.
Yeah, so that's why he always had the cash on him, and then I guess the dark part about always flashing your money. Especially, that's a lot of times he was just hanging at Tootsie's, just vibing out, drinking with the boys. Like he's not, he's not in like Brentwood somewhere kicking it, or like in the rich parts of town. He's kind of just he's with the proletariat. He's with the working class people, just chilling and vibing out. But a lot of times when you do that, and people see you getting that money, and you're poor and you can't figure it out, and you're old drunk and you're kind of scummy, you look at him and you say, hey,
there might be some money in those pockets.
I might want to take that from old String Beano.
Right.
So one day he performed often at the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, he was at the Opry. I think it was like 1973. I'm pretty sure he was playing on stage doing his bit, and the last song he'd ever do. Wow. And I'm pretty sure it was the one that was like, I'm gonna make my. What is it? The one about being on the Grand Ole Opry, like, I'm going to do this. This is for me.
Yeah, so I heard one of the songs saying, it's called Y'all Come. Something about, one of the songs he performed, I don't know if it was the last one, but one of the songs saying Y'all Come, and some of the lyrics were, out here in the country, everybody's your neighbor.
It's true. That was definitely the big mentality, too. And for him in general, and him and Grandpa Jones, they were best friends, and they both lived, like, up in Ridgetop, like, above Nashville.
Oh, it was, in matter of fact, it was Goodlettsville.
Yeah.
It was Goodlettsville, which is, if you're not from here, you're not around here, maybe 20, 30 minutes outside of town?
If it's like right above where East Nashville and North Nashville, right above that, basically.
Right. So he's not too far, but still a nice little suburb. So him and actually Grandpa Jones from the Hee Haw show lived out on this huge, they had a lot of acres out there. Grandpa Jones was in the bigger house because he had a family and, wife, kids, the whole nine. And then String Bean and Estelle,
his wife.
I believe, Estelle was her name. they got the smaller little cabin out in Goodlettsville. So after that night, he gets on, does his normal thing. They said he goes in the back in the green room, shoots the shit with everybody. Hey, well, you know, him and Grandpa Jones were supposed to go hunting the next day.
Yes. So they drive home.
Yeah.
He and his wife drive home, and when they roll up to their house.
But hold on, you have to assume, because the Blando Opry is playing on the radio, right? So he would perform. He's live on the radio.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like today where you perform just for the concert. It was literally live. I want to say morning, 6. It was nighttime. It's
a nighttime show. So what happened was everybody found out the next morning.
Okay, that's when people found out.
I believe it was a Saturday night, but Saturday night.
So he leaves before the show's over. You have to assume he's playing Opry on the way home, right? If you do a show,
stars, listen to the stars.
Yeah, like if you do a show with Opry and all your boys are in there performing, you riding home, you in Nashville, I would just turn on my boy. Why not? You know what I mean? So now you're riding home after you perform. You get to Goodlettsville, and you pull up, and they said he pulled up, and immediately he was like, "Man, something strange. Something don't feel right."
Yeah. Well, he had 2 robbers in his house that thought they were so slick to try to come in while he was on the show. And like what you were saying, he was like notoriously had a lot of money, so everybody thought he had it stored away somewhere, hidden in his house somewhere. Is what these robbers thought anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
while he's performing, which I guess, you know, that seems like the robbers' mentality. Hey, he's gonna be performing. We know he's performing at 6.
Great time to go.
So we're gonna go ahead and ram his house. And they said they were drunk too.
They were drunk.
So they in there drinking and they rambling through his shit,
looking for all the money,
and don't find anything.
Taking too long.
So finally, they're like, we're just gonna wait it out. We'll listen to Grand Ole Opry, turn it on, and wait for him to get back. Because matter of fact, because the people said when Grandpa Jones inevitably found him, we skip and we'll go back. But when they found the bodies, he heard the radio playing.
Like in the house?
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't surprise. I always have 650 on and a radio in my house because it's better than TV. But I think that with this scenario is insane, where like these 2 drunk idiots are trying to rob this old man and his wife while he's playing a gig in Nashville on the Opry, and then they roll up, they come home, and then they enter into their house, and then the dudes allegedly accidentally killed this man and his wife.
Oh no! So
accidentally,
they
felt
pull up,
real bad about it.
No. So they pull up to the house. He hops out. He tells Estelle, "Hold on, because something don't feel right." And you can tell if it's just the energy. Like one time, I got my car broken into, and you just walk into your car, and before I could see the windows glass shattered all over, I was like, "Something ain't." You can feel intrusive. Like you can feel it intrusive. Like something ain't right. I don't know what it is. It's an energy, or it's like that energy when somebody's like staring at you from far, and you're like, "Why?" You can feel somebody looking at you from behind you.
Right.
You can just so he probably feels the energy of 2 humans in his fucking house.
Something's off.
So he gets in there, and they're like, "What's up?" But he's got his pistol because he's got his cash. Mind you, he has. I wrote it down. This man had $3,182 in his overalls. His wife had.
That's a move.
His wife had. I would take. That's good money right now. And this is in the 70s. His wife has $2,150
in a purse.
In a bra. So hers in her bra. His is he had money he would flash in front. He had like $200 up here that he just liked to play with. But his real money he would stick on the inside pocket. You couldn't see.
Gotcha.
So he gets in. He sees these 2. He grabs the pistol, shoots, misses, and since they've been in his house, they've now gotten his guns.
Oh, shit.
So they didn't even have guns, I don't think. These motherfuckers took his guns from his house when he got home, and because they might not have even been shooters or killers, but I think once String Bean came in there
cousins, though.
Trying to shoot, they were like, oh, we have to shoot now. So now they're aiming, and then boom, they shoot String Bean in his own house.
Killed the man.
Estelle, at this point, his wife, is in the car, and she's running now because she's like, oh, my God, something's going on. And it's got to be a horrible thing to hear a gunshot when your husband just said to you something don't feel right. Then you hear a gunshot in the middle of Goodlettsville when it's just dead quiet, and you just hear, "Cow," and you like,
But you hear a couple too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're right. You hear a shootout actually.
Yeah.
You hear a shootout. Then you start running. She's running away. These bastards, Doug Brown, they were cousins.
Yeah.
Doug Brown and John Brown. Mm-hmm. Very simple names. One of the most, simple names in the book. Close to John Doe. But anyway, they chase Estelle down, and she's begging, hey, man, there's no reason to kill me.
Right.
There's no reason to kill me. Can you just let me go? You already killed my husband. Can I please go? They shoot her in the back of the head. Shoot her in the back of the head, leave her there all night long. And they said it was wintertime, so when Grandpa Jones heard it, him and his wife came over to see what was going on. They see the bodies. That's not what happened. They didn't hear it. The next morning, he said he didn't see.
He was supposed to come over to go hunting with him.
Yeah, he was supposed to go hunting.
Yeah.
And also, he said he didn't see the fireplace. He said normally he sees smoke. He's like, so he just goes over to see what's going on, and they see white frost on Estelle's head. She's face down, but the dew is all over the place, and it's a little foggy, but they can see white frost on her hair, which means she's been there all night. You go to the house, you see him by the fireplace. He's face down. It's blood everywhere. The house is a mess. They call the police, and then, boom. The investigation don't take long. I think it was maybe 2 months with no internet, and they still found these bastards.
These cousins were freaking out.
Also, they left with $200.
They didn't even.
So they didn't even find the money on either one of them. They
were scared shitless.
Yeah.
They didn't go there to kill him. Allegedly,
right.
They allegedly didn't go there to kill him, and they just went there to try to.
And that's the dumb thing about robberies. They never go as planned. You know what I mean? Like you all. There's too many variables. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't see the cop that was over there. Oh, there's a kid in here. Oh, that guy's got a gun. It's like you can't. That's why the robbing game is such a horrible thing to do. No matter how down you are, it's such a dangerous thing to do because things escalate so quick. You know what I mean?
Bang. Yeah.
So they find out who did it. These two cousins.
Right.
They both go to jail. They get life initially, right?
They're supposed to get 2 lifetime sentences, is what it was, because they killed 2 people.
Yeah.
And so.
And it shook up the country music scene here in Nashville too, because
everybody was freaked out. They thought it was on purpose.
Right.
They thought it was like a targeted attack, that somebody was out here trying to kill opera stars, and everybody was freaked out.
Because they had never seen anything like that. You might have lose somebody to an overdose maybe back then, but never to just cold-hearted murder in cold blood. They never seen anything like it.
Not in that family of country music. There hadn't been a murder like that.
Especially if you're not violent or you don't have enemies. You just don't think like, if you're maybe in the outlaw country, it might be, even though they're clearly writing songs and they're not being realistic in a lot of the songs, but you can't like... You would at least think, okay, maybe Willie Nelson back in the day, Red Headed Strangers going down, okay, some violence. This guy just a comedic singer,
right?
Just a simple guy. He got his name. They said he went to a radio. He went to a radio station one day, and a dude forgot his name. He said, "Hey, String Bean, get your tall ass over here," and that's how he got his name.
Oh, that makes sense.
Hey, String Bean, that's something my granddad would call somebody.
Yeah,
old
for sure.
String Bean. So anyway, they go to jail. Doug and John Brown. Doug dies in jail, I want to say 8 years after. And then, meanwhile, this whole time, John Brown's asking to be paroled every single day.
Oh, yeah. John is just, he's so remorseful.
He's Christian now.
He's so that's, his whole thing was he found God in jail after killing String Bean and his wife.
He's a God-fearing man. Now, he keeps having these parole hearings.
And he's like, man, maybe String Bean didn't die in vain. How bold to say, but...
Yeah. And he's pretty much saying, every time he has a parole hearing, the country music community is coming out saying, hey, I don't care if it's been 3 years. This guy is a jerk. He killed our friend in cold blood. He can't get parole, and they'll cancel his parole. He would do it again in another 3 years, and the country music community will come out again. Grandpa Jones will come out. They say, hey, no, this isn't okay. He's a bad guy.
But he was on his best behavior.
He was on his best behavior. He just kept saying he was a nice guy. He kept saying he believed in God, and he was down here in the Deep South, and it worked.
And it worked.
And he got out of jail.
He did.
Is he alive still right now?
I think he got out of jail fairly recently. I want to say like in the last 5 years or so. But again, he and his brother were both supposed to serve
98?
two lifetime terms.
Yeah, I think they both had 98, 298. So whatever that is.
Too much. I don't do much.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Supposed to be 196 years. And they, I think he got he ended up doing maybe, I don't even know if it was 20. It seems like it's 20 because that happened in 73, but I don't think he did that long.
I don't know, but he literally said, "Thank you, God."
Yeah.
Thank you, God.
He said, if this wouldn't have happened, I would have never found God. So I'm happy this happened.
I wasn't planning on it going this way, but I'm glad I did kill String Bean and his wife, because if I hadn't, I never would have realized that I am a God-fearing Christian and I don't need to be in jail.
I promise, if it's anybody God don't fuck with, it's you, bro.
Yeah.
I can promise you
But he got out, so he's probably alive and well. Wonder how he's doing.
He should be laying low.
I hope so.
Just lay low, get you a little construction job, change your name. Well, no, John Brown's pretty simple.
Yeah.
You can keep John Brown, go to another town, Colorado somewhere, and then just,
Get out of Music City, though.
Yeah, that was cold-blooded, man. So R.I.P. String Bean, man.
R.I.P. to String Bean.
R.I.P. to Estelle, who definitely didn't deserve it. And then, like I said, these people didn't even get the money.
Well, they just were being jackasses about it. They just hadn't thought it through. 4
lives ruined for $200.
And, the peace of Music City disrupted forever. But...
Yes. Now, the next story is one of the most interesting, and this guy this is a story of the country singer being the aggressor and not the victim.
Are you talking about Spade Cooley?
We talking about old Spade Cooley,
the king of, what is it, like Western swing?
Swing, yes. He
was back in the day. This is what
30s and 40s is when he first got his hit. He was out in Cali. So now we got to blame Hollywood for this one. This ain't our guy.
Did this take place in California?
California, yes. Really? This was one of the most sensational court cases California's ever seen, they said. Well, because he was so popular. In the 30s and 40s, he had it was swing time. And he had a band, and they were just killing it. And then the thing about being a country singer in California as opposed to Tennessee is there's also Hollywood right there. So he's starring in all these old Western movies. And so his face, and he got a cool name, honestly, Spade Cooley.
Spade Cooley.
That sounds like a rapper name today. I'm Spade Cooley. So that's a dope name. So anyway, he would have a show where he would have his band and one pretty girl on the scene. And then he would swap out these pretty girls every few months when they would, he would get tired of them. He finally picked one and he married her. And he married this girl, and then they became lovers and, blah, blah, blah. So
they had a family.
30s and 40s, he's killing it. And then in the 50s, his show gets canceled. His star is starting to fade. People aren't showing him that respect anymore. It's hard for
There's new people on the scene.
Of course, and they're younger now, because you got to imagine, he started in the 30s. That's 20 years ago.
Right.
First of all, that's still a long-ass great career.
Definitely.
But, some dudes' egos can't handle it. So
never enough.
He took his whole fortune and invested in like 1,200 acres out in California somewhere, Northern California, to make some kind of water land, like some kind of theme park. And he got all these investors, and he put all his money in, thinking that everybody's going to swarm to this, and this was going to be his big money getter. Like Elon Musk, he thought this was going to be his Tesla. And then he's going to be this mega business real estate genius. But he ends up losing it. No one gives a shit about this water park. No one ever comes. And now he's stressed out and he's pissed because now all his money's gone. He spent all his money on this shit.
Right.
So now he turns to the bottle.
Big dreams.
Yeah, so now he's turned to the bottle. Old Spade Cooley, he's a drunk now. He's mean. There's already been rumors that he's been beating his wife. She went to the hospital and called and I think I need to stay a little longer. She would, back in the day, you can't say it. She can't say, hey, I'm getting beat. Because hell,
everybody was getting beat back then.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, of course you're getting beat. It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's what people do. You get beat. You know what I mean? So she was just like, I don't want to necessarily go home, but they sent her home anyway. And then one day, matter of fact, he did have a daughter, because the daughter, he came home one day.
Oh, the daughter had to be there, which was what was so fucked. I know about Spade Cooley was that he deliberately wanted her to watch when he beat the shit out of his wife and then killed her, like on the kitchen floor, right?
Yes, crazy. Beat her to death with his bare hands, no weapons. This is just a man that is angry, evil.
And then he's got this song that's like, shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame, shame, shame on you.
When art imitates life or life imitates art, whichever one it is, that song should be dedicated just for him.
It is, yeah.
Because you had a great career, bro. Now, mind you, you got lucky really early in the 30s. In the 40s, you were killing it. You had a 20-year career of killing it on TV.
And then he killing it again, and he killed her right there in cold blood on the kitchen floor.
And made the daughter watch. Then it was such a misogynistic world, and he was such a big star. And of course,
didn't even get
the police and the court. It's all men,
right?
And they're all white dudes, and they're like, "That's my guy. Yeah, that's our guy, Spade Cooley.
What'd she do this time, Spade?
Yeah, exactly. Why'd she make you kill her, dude? I don't know how these bitches are.
Yeah.
So they get to the courthouse and they're so lenient on them. Mm-hmm. Everybody said they noticed that the cops are having breakfast with the cops and
definitely
they're bringing him food and he's hanging out and they gave him a real light sentence. He's supposed to get I think he got life. He's supposed to get life. Because it was so much evidence that you clearly killed her. They got evidence that you've been beating on her for years. The daughter saved it. They said the daughter had to go on the stand and say, he beat my mom all the time. He even molested me.
Yeah.
That's people throw that under the rug. He was an incestual man too.
Yeah.
He's having sex with his own daughter, allegedly. This is her testimony. And so within all that, with her testimony, and he's like staring a hole in the whole time, trying to use that mental manipulation,
for sure.
Trying to scare her like I did your mother like that. I'm sure that's what he's trying to do. I did your mother like that. I'll do you like that.
Put the fear in her.
She's brave enough to. First of all, you have to understand that's crazy to deal with. One parent is gone,
right?
And the other parent is a murderer so you don't even have anybody to really turn to. But she was brave enough to say, hey, this is the truth. This is what happened. He goes to jail. The police love this man so much. Within 8 years, I believe, he gets out of jail.
Oh, God.
And they say, hey, you get out of jail, but on one term, you have to come and perform at this police convention.
Oh, I forgot about this.
So they said, hey.
Back to blue.
They said, hey, Spade Cooley, get your ass out here and you're going to perform at this police convention. He's like, I don't give a damn. So he goes up, puts his nice gear on. And he's hitting his strings and he's performing, gets off stage, has a heart attack and dies.
Hey, good way to go.
Like his
didn't
first
die in
day
jail.
I don't know if that was his first day of freedom or freedom was supposed to be the next day. But he got out of jail, performed, and then he was like, I'm sure he was thinking, okay, I'm going to get me some liquor tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy some weed.
He was so excited he just had a heart attack and died right there.
Yeah, exactly. God was like, hell no, bro. Give me your fucking heart. You're not going to just be out here kicking. So then,
good Lord,
Spade Cooley bit the dust.
Prayers for his daughter if she's still out there somewhere.
Yeah, Miss Cooley, man. I hope you're doing all right. But she's a brave soul, man.
I hope she's
to see that
moved on
and to actually, go to court and fight. Because I would have just been like, fuck it. I would
have been scared for my life for sure.
You know what I mean? My mom's dead. He killed her. I seen it. I don't want to go to court and relive it because every court lasts a long time. It took 6 months, and every day they're bringing up the worst day.
California court, I think, takes even longer than the regular court.
And every day they're just bringing up the worst day of your life in extreme detail every single day. And you're a kid, and you know what a piece of shit this man is. So he goes down as one of the biggest scumbags in music history, I believe.
Definitely,
he's up there with some real sickos.
Straight up murderer.
Yeah,
insane.
So he's dead, and I'm cool with that.
Well, so what's the other? Something like this Murder on Music Row drama, more songwriter drama. This is more specifically
and this was closer to us. We were probably being born around this time. I was born in '89, and This happened in '89. So that 90s country wave is about to hit like crazy. When did Garth Brooks hit the scene? It was 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, all that is 90s. This is before that, I believe, right?
No, this one happened in '89. So right before the 1990 hit, it was happening. So what happened was there was a thing called Cash. And also, there was a song called Murder on Music Row that was inspired by this, but it's not about this. I forgot who sings the song. Forgive me. I know they're killing me in the comments on this. But,
oh God. Okay, yeah, they're gonna kill me too. I know what you're talking
about. But the song's pretty much saying how that song was about Murder on Music Row. How country's not the same, and they've murdered the traditional style of country. That's what that song was about. But it was inspired by an actual murder on 16th Avenue, right over there on Music Row. That was literally 2 streets down the street from where we're at, and there was a thing called Cash Vox, which was it was like the charts of Nashville country. Right. And they were as important as Billboard. And if you get on there, then you're good. And there was a guy named Tony D'Antonio who was like a promoter who kind of ran it. So this Billboard charts or the cash box starts to fall off. And it stops being he can't make it shake anymore. So they're starting to bring in some young interns. There's an intern named Kevin. Oh, forgive me, I forgot his name. He went to Belmont. So he's here. He's going to Belmont because he's trying to study music and be a music guy. He loves music so much that in his spare time, he just writes out his own music charts, the songs he likes. He's just a super music nerd.
Right.
So he comes to Nashville, works, and he's at Belmont. He's trying to find like a little side gig. So he's going to intern at Cashbox. You know, because like me or you interning at Billboard or iHeart and trying to
shout out to iHeart.
Yeah, shout out, and you trying to just sneak in the game. So they're like, all right, we like this kid. He's cool. And they say, hey man, we're gonna pay you a whole salary. You drop out of Belmont. This is what Tony, the guy who's running Cashbox, he's like, hey man, you drop out of Belmont and you come and work for us full time.
Master manipulator vibes.
Yes.
Come on over here. Work for me.
And I'm glad you said that because this whole story is based on, and to all you dreamers, you got to be careful and ambitious people because there are predators preying on the ambitious and the dreamers. Cities like New York, LA, Austin, Nashville.
For sure.
Like where the dreamers go, that's where a lot of predators are.
Right.
Even online, when you see people trying to like scam you out of, hey, you want to be verified?
Oh.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, they're preying on ambitious people. It's like, yeah, I do want to be verified. Maybe this could be real. So you gotta stay sharp out here because there are people out here.
Your hope is a weapon for other people.
Yeah, and they're trying, especially those of you all who are coming to Nashville, coming to LA, coming to New York with money. If somehow you either got into money or your parents had money and somehow you've been funded in some way, you're the super target for predators because they're thinking, oh yeah, you're dumb, you don't know anything, and you got a lot of money.
Especially online.
Online. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. So they're trying to sneak you. So anyway, he leaves Belmont to chase the dream, which I can respect.
Right.
Because I mean, hey, honestly, fuck school. It's just chase the dream. I get that. So if I was his friend, I probably would have said, maybe go do that. So anyway, so now he's over here working full time at this chart. But he realizes that when he's doing the charts, he's like, these numbers ain't adding up.
Right.
What's happening is a guy named Chuck Dixon comes into play too. He's a huge promoter in Nashville at the time. Huge country music promoter. Yeah. But he's kind of like it's an undertone of shadiness to him. So him and Tony now are running Cashbox, and what they're doing is, let's say you coming from Virginia, you want to sing country music. They say, hey, you pay me $2,000 and we'll get you on these charts.
Right.
So we'll say, if you pay me, we're going to play you on the radio and then you're up on the charts.
It's still like that today.
Yeah, payola is what it is, yeah. But how they got super shady with the payola is they're taking the money and they're not even talking to the radio stations.
Right.
And since they have the chart numbers, it's like you have a song and I just write down your song's number one. No one's playing it on the radio. No one knows about it, but it looks like you have a number one single.
Psychologically.
Yeah. Because you're not in Denver on the radio. You're not in New York. So if they say, hey, they're playing in New York, you're like, I guess they are. I don't fucking know. Right. There's no internet.
Totally. No way to like really double check any of that back then. You're just taking, also you're hopeful and ambitious and you believe them and you're like, yes, this is what
And you're thinking it is good. Your friends told you it's good. Your agent told you it was good. This guy's telling you it's good. And you're thinking, wow, we finally did it. And hell, you're probably thinking, 10,000 should do something for me.
Right.
I would think that. Hell, if I'm in music and I give a DJ or if I give somebody 10,000, I would think that should get me somewhere. So it's believable that somebody would get, some kind of number one or one through, somewhere on the charts. So anyway, these dudes are doing this all around the city, and they're specifically aiming at people who just moved to. Got a little breezy.
Yeah, I got cold.
Yeah. So now they're preying on every artist that comes to town because it's getting harder and harder and harder to keep this business afloat because it's based on nothing.
Right.
Eventually, the Kevin guy, the young guy from Belmont, he's like, you know what? I can't do this shit no more for him. This is fake. I don't like it. You're manipulating the charts. So he says, you know what? I'm not doing it. And they say, hey, we're not asking you to do all that. It was something called a country radio seminar they went to. And at this country radio seminar, Chuck Dixon and this Tony guy, they said, hey, look, stop the noble, nice guy shit. We're trying to make money.
Right.
And if you keep playing with us, we're going to deal with you, which is a threat.
Right.
But he was like, whatever. Fuck you. I'm a nice guy. I care about music.
He's like, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Like, y'all didn't really help me, so I'm out.
And he's just thinking, you know what? He's honestly doing this for the music. So we got to really respect him. He's putting his neck out there with some devious, sharky people in order to keep the integrity of country music. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he's closing up the night after that. He's closing up at the office, and a singer comes by, a guy named Sam. I'll just leave his name out. His name is Sam. I ain't gonna give his last name, but you can look him up. It's public record. He said all this shit. I'm gonna leave his name out because I don't you tell me what you think about this. So that night, Kevin goes to he's at the office. He's closing up, right? This singer who's on the label with all these with Cashbox, he's working with
a little
Cash.
Jealous. Well,
he shows up. You can tell. You tell me what you think. I'm gonna see. I don't wanna slight him yet. Mm-hmm. So he says, "Hey, you want to go grab some food?" He says, "Kevin," and Kevin's like, "I'll grab some food." He tells his brother he loves him. He's on the phone. He hangs up. So they hop and go grab some food. There's no cell phones. So Sam says, "Hey man, I'm gonna stop by my record label to use their phone real quick." And he says, "Okay, cool." They stop by the record label to use the phone, and he says he's talking to his parents. Now, this could be true. He says it's true.
I need to use your phone.
Yeah, so he stops by his record label to use the phone to call his parents at night.
Right.
I would never want to talk to my mom at night.
No.
You know what I mean? First of all, parent calls are just exhausting in general. Now, mind you, if you're out of town in Nashville chasing your dreams and you want to tell your mom you have a good music, I get it. I'm not saying the guy's lying, but
a little in this situation seems a little
he wants to call
sus.
Like, if imagine me and you're riding around at night and I'm like, let's go get something to eat. And you're like, first, let me call my mom. Anyway, maybe, I don't know. So anyway, he says, okay, so they stop to do that. When they leave out of here, after this man calls his mom, they close the record label up, close the door. They're heading to the car. Tony hops out of the bushes with a pistol, chases Kevin down, boom, puts 2 in his head, kills him right there. And then Sam, the guy who was with him, who decided to call his mom, he took one in the shoulder. And the guy,
just for sport.
And then the guy limped away. Now, I'm not saying that this guy Sam had anything to do with it. I have no idea. I wasn't there, but it just seems strange.
My intuition is telling me, this is like a Selena situation where like management and
I just don't know how the hell did they know he was at that place.
No, that's
unless now mind you, there's a chance he could be tailing them. You know what I mean? There's a chance he could have tailed them, and which was I think what the police said they think happened. They think that when they were about to go get something to eat, and when they were leaving, the guy was behind them the whole time, which is possible.
Could have been.
But I'm from North Nashville, bro. I'm from the hood. I just don't. It seems
we don't have time for all that.
If me and a man that I don't really hang with like that, we hang out, and that same night I'm getting robbed, and they know exactly where I'm at, I'm going to him with issues.
You bring up a good point.
So but now mind you, if he didn't do that, that's a hell of an accusation to throw on him. So I don't want to put that heavy on him. And either way, whether you set him up or not, seeing a man die, it's got to be traumatic for you. So I know that he's fucked up in the head.
Unless he was getting some of the.
Sure. So now mind you,
I wonder how his songs were charting after that.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. We should check out his songs. But yes, I don't know about that guy. I don't know because if you're a hungry young musician and this guy's telling you I can take you to the charts. You just got to take him to dinner. He might not even, you know what I mean? Right. This is all speculation.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I could see how somebody be like, well, okay, all I got to do is take him to dinner. It seems shady, but I need my songs to work. And then maybe he got in over his head, or maybe it happened just like they said it happened, and it was just coincidental. But either way, my boy Kevin took 2 to the head, and they left him there. And then they didn't find out. You know how they found out? So Tony killed him, right? He bought this gun from a drug dealer, and he killed him, and then just kept the gun. It was a 38. Well, it wasn't nothing happened. So for 15 years, they never found the killer. They never found the killer.
Jesus.
One day, a drug dealer in Atlanta got locked up, and they said, "You're about to do 40 years unless you tell us some crimes that you know." And he said, "I know this guy named Tony, who I gave a gun to. He killed a musician in Nashville."
Oh my God.
And they was like, "What?" They was like, "Prove it." So they said, "Come out here. I'll show you where I gave him the gun, what kind of gun, and I bet you it matches the people that killed that guy." And when they matched it up, they said, "What the fuck? It is him. So he was in Vegas kicking it. When he moved to, after he killed Kevin, he moved to Vegas immediately. He been out there for 15 years. He thought he was good.
Oh my God.
And motherfuckers came and got him, arrested him, and then they was looking for Chuck, but Chuck had already died of like a heart attack or some shit. So Chuck Dixon was already dead.
Dang.
And this man, Tony, ended up going to jail, and I believe he died in prison too.
I wonder how the Atlanta man held out with all that.
The detective said that was one of many stories. So
he was good.
He told everything he knew.
He's fine. He's alive and well today. His business is still going well, but
he's
the
living
artist,
his best life. Yeah, he told on 98% of all criminals. But
amazing.
But yeah, it was just so ironic, man. So that was that's wild, man. To think you can come to Nashville and try to chase your dreams like so many people here.
Well,
so many people have moved here from California in the last 5 years. What they call the California Exodus. You know what I mean? Everybody, they went to Austin, they went to New York, and a lot of them came to Nashville. So a lot of these, So, and I embrace them. But I just say to all y'all, man, be careful out here, man, because it's so greedy out here. And music is just...
Everybody be careful out there.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, whether you do music or not. But it's tough. It's tough when you're ambitious and when you're young because you don't know how to make this shit work.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Well, so that reminds me of like, this is perhaps like a taboo story to tell would be the Tammy Wynette story.
Yeah, please break this down. I know absolutely nothing about this.
Okay.
How did she die? How old was she? What are we talking here?
Tammy Wynette had a lot of health issues over the period of her life, but however, she was also easily influenced by the people around her. And like, what's his fucking name? George Ritchie. George Ritchie is a guy who was like a songwriter who was known by Ritchie also. And he was around in like the George Jones, Tammy Wynette era of writing songs for them, right? So he was writing songs for George to sing about Tammy.
So he was a hit maker.
Writing songs for Tammy to sing about George. And then he started to get all psychologically like invested in Tammy where he like was in love with her and he wanted her to be in love with him instead of to be with George and blah, blah, blah. And so he's like deeply psychologically influencing their whole relationship because he's writing the songs that they're performing to each other and about each other and their whole fucking careers.
Yeah.
But
and the career and the songs are growing into these such huge things.
Right.
Yeah.
He's married. His wife's name at the time is Sheila. Okay. And at this time, George and Tammy are married, and then fades out of that the chaos of like George Jones and his like, I don't know what it must have been like to be married to George Jones, but I can only imagine that it was volatile at times and drunken and a mess and couldn't have smelt great either. But I think that like this George Ritchie shit was crazy because he was like kind of overtook Tammy as her manager and then was getting her. She was in so much pain with her medical shit.
Yeah. That, what kind of, we talking like MS type shit? What are we talking?
No, I think it had to do, like, I don't know. I'm not going to say like hernias, but it was like stuff like internal. A lot of internal stuff, internal pain, a lot of like woman problems, things in her body that were, her body was like hurting her, and so she got
musicians
addicted
aren't the best with their bodies in general anyway.
Fuck,
all the touring,
I can't even eat
food,
breakfast.
The drugs,
like,
the drinks,
There's just so many things. Just taking care of yourself is hard enough, but being a woman in country music with this huge spotlight on her, this was also the 60s and the 70s and all this time period of like heavy like narcotic drugs happening. Like doctors will write you prescription for anything back in these days, and
Quaaludes, cocaine, whiskey.
I don't know if she was on morphine. I don't know if she was on opiates. I don't know what she was on, but she was on things that were so strong that they were getting injected into her body. And the only person who she was talking to about this, that she would confide in about it, was allegedly Ritchie. And so this man did not have her best interests at heart. He was married to this other woman. He got Tammy fucked up and then got her to sleep with him or be in love with him or whatever, and then he became like her secret little doctor where he's drugging her up all the time, and then she
you
can't.
think it was a situation where he was being enabling and it was out of love, or it was more of a manipulation in your opinion, and like I want to control it?
I think all of it. I think it was all of that. I think
sometimes on 600-pound Life, you'll see somebody, they 600 pounds and they got a girlfriend, and the girlfriend just keeps throwing pizzas at them. And the doctor comes in like, what the hell are you doing? And it's like, well, I'm sorry, I love them.
Well,
or it could be a situation to where it's like, if I keep, it could be manipulation and control.
He was keeping her fucked up so she would be with him. She married this man. Her children were devastated. Like her daughter that she had. Yeah, I mean, she and George Jones had a daughter, Georgette, who's still alive and well and awesome.
That's a cool name, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can only imagine what it must have been like to see your mom so on drugs that she married somebody that was doing everybody dirty. Anyways, the reason why we're talking about all this is because he was influencing her drug overdose situation so much that, apparently, speculation is that he murdered his wife, Sheila. Was that her fucking name? Is that what I said earlier?
Yeah.
And that she supposedly killed herself because she was so devastated that he left her for Tammy, but then also that she killed her little dog. I don't know, but if I'm deranged, and I'm upset and I'm going to off myself, I don't think I'm going to just be like, little dog.
Hold on. So this man's wife died?
First.
How? What did the report say that she died of?
That she shot herself and her little dog is what the report said.
Oh,
so
damn.
Richie's wife all of a sudden is, nixed and out of the picture. And then Tammy is fading away. So were they together when
she died?
No, because he had left her to be with Tammy. Because he had got Tammy so fucked up that she would marry him and be with him.
Well...
So
that might drive somebody suicidal, but go ahead.
It could have been, but it also could have been. So this more context on George Ritchie is this man was psychologically fucking with Tammy to where allegedly he was vandalizing her home and stuff. And I don't know if any of y'all watched the show, but if you watched the fucking show that was on, shout out to the George and Tammy TV show that was on Showtime. I worked on that show also, but in the show, you see that Tammy comes home from going out on a date with somebody or something, and it's got slut written all over her house in red paint and shit like that, terrifying things. And then come to find out that was all Richie doing that shit.
He said that? He admitted it?
I don't think he admitted it. I think he got found out. Is the thing, is that it was and Sheila knew. His wife at the time, knew that he was doing all this shit to not piss off, but to get in Tammy's head to make her feel like she needed safety, in which case she was clinging to Richie. So he supposedly, allegedly killed Sheila, and then also he influenced the, toxicity of Tammy's relationship with these drugs that eventually killed her.
So she died of an overdose?
Apparently, she and he were both napping on separate couches in the living room over the course of 8 hours. He never checked on her to see if she was still breathing and she had died. So he was the only one there. So he's the only one who really knows how she died. But apparently...
And I saw on Breaking Bad, which of course is television, but if y'all remember, this ain't a spoiler if you ain't seen it, I don't think, but there was a time when Heisenberg came in, he was looking for Jesse. So Heisenberg, if you've never seen the show, Heisenberg is a huge drug dealer. He's selling meth, I believe.
Right.
And his friend, his little sidekick, is a young guy. He's great at cooking the meth, but he's with this girl, and he's always messing up the business because he's always gone, and he needs him here. So one day, he went to go find Jesse. He's like, hey, man, Jesse, he's with this girl. Jesse wasn't there, but the girl was in there. She was overdosing.
Oh, God.
And he could have saved her because she was choking, and instead he just sat there, and he looked at her die. And she overdosed, and he called Jesse, like, hey, she's dead, bro. So now we got to get back to work.
Oh, my God.
So when you say that, it kind of, not that that's what happened, but I think
same
of that
shit,
scene
different trailer park.
When it's like somebody overdosing, and you could just, and being a firefighter, I was a firefighter for 6 years. That's every shift somebody would overdose.
Oh, God.
And so what happens is, especially if it's an opiate, I don't know, that's most of the overdoses I saw were fentanyl. And bad coke, bad pills, and people would take it, and it's such a nod off. You go to sleep, and the person you did it with goes to sleep.
Right.
And then you kind of wake up, and you're like, damn. And then they could be dead.
Right.
It's like, oh, so then that person, because a lot of times we go to a house and somebody overdosed, and the person that called us was on the same shit. Maybe he did more, though.
Right.
So now that person's like nodding off as they're talking to us, and we're like doing CPR on this person.
Right.
And this person nodding off. So it could have been they were in the same shit, or it could have been on some Heisenberg where I'm just going to look at you.
I am with you on all that. I think that shit is crazy. I think like a very, like you said, like sometimes there is an intentional like bit of power dynamic happening there. And I think with this case, with this man in particular, that like he was just on one. He was so jealous of George Jones. He like wanted everything. He wanted all the credit. He wanted Tammy's love. He wanted her money. He wanted her stardom. He wanted all of that. And
so he was like a ghostwriter that only the business probably knew and respected.
He wasn't a ghostwriter. He was writing fucking everything. He was writing he was making everybody's money back then. But that's still how it is.
But he never had any albums of his own. That
I think that
that made it to like that George Jones level.
Well, he not as a star, but as a songwriter, yes, because he was making all George Jones money. So like he was No.
So he's making money, but I'm saying like as far as like I say that to say I could see envy coming from a person that's writing beautiful songs, and then when y'all go out to the mall, everyone's saying, "I love your song," and they're saying, "Hey, excuse me, can you take the picture, motherfucker, or can you get out the?" You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So after like 10, 12 years there, he's like, "God damn it, like it's me. Where's my attention?" So that's
exactly it, and that's how he was with Tammy. Is he's like, "It's me. Why aren't you in love with me? You are in love with me." And then, but I think that I believe that she technically died of something that to do with the health issue, and I believe this was like a blood clot situation, maybe something like that happening while she was asleep on the couch. But I just think that this goes similar enough to all the other things. When we were talking about Spade Cooley and we were talking about the music on Murder Row, and we're talking about all these people who have bad intentions in country music, who are like making not only their career and their money off of everybody else, but also like the manipulation being the weapon is insane. So
right. And it's people's. It's like it's always the same shit. It's always that leads to this type of shit. It's murder. I mean, that leads to murder. It's greed.
Yeah.
Selfishness.
It's sad.
You know what I mean? Cause man. Cause it's crazy. So I don't even know. The time of Wynette. How long ago did she die?
I feel like this. I might be wrong, but I want to say that she died in the 90s, and that George outlived her, and that George lived for like another 10 years or something. I want to say like I might be wrong, but I feel like that's right. But definitely must have been insane. What a torturous relationship for the both of them. I can't wait until we get more into their music and stuff too, because like
for sure we gotta have it. I can't wait till the George Jones ep.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But
that's gonna be super dope. I forgot what do you call it if you're in a race and you come fourth, honorable mention. Honorable mention. He wasn't no murderer, but this just came to mind. It's not funny at all, but it was a guy called the Nashville Foot Stomper. You ever heard of him? All right. So what happened was I was doing a series on true crime, the content. That's why I know a lot of these random
You know this drama because you've been doing your research?
The police email me every day with the murders and the details, and I have to file them away. Yeah. But no, so it was this guy called, y'all got to Google him. It's the Nashville Foot Stomper. All the other murderers on this show have been white, but this guy, unfortunately, comes from, he's a black dude, and he didn't murder anybody, though. He's a foot stomper. What he would do is just break a woman's foot.
Ugh.
And then try to like kill her. I guess he was a murderer then. I forgot his crime.
This guy's first name is also George.
Is it?
George Mitchell, Foot Stomper.
Yeah, the Foot Stomper. He would walk up on you, look at your feet, and if you had your like toes out, he would step on your foot as hard as he could.
Damn.
So you couldn't move. You can't walk away. And now when you can't walk away, he'll get you. And I can't remember if he murdered you or stabbed you, but it took him. Because he keeps catching everybody off guard. You look up and somebody just crushes the top of your foot bones.
Mitchell has been arrested more than 60 times for stomping women's feet since 1968. And this was an article from 1987. Mostly in Nashville and Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The Nashville foot stomper. He did this. They said over 60 times he was arrested, which means he did it 100 times, and he only got caught 60.
Oh God, that was just in that 20-year span between the 60s and the 80s.
Exactly. We don't know what happened to him in the 90s, in the 2000s, but no, the Nashville foot stomper is definitely one to look into. And then I think I got one more, but it's vague in my mind. Dennis Reed. I remember this when I was growing up here in Nashville.
I don't know.
And the story, so if I ruin this story, just shit on me in the comments, I guess, if you know Dennis Reed. But this was late 90s too. A guy came to Nashville, just a weird dude. He was a guy named Dennis Reed. He was a horrible musician. I mean, so he was comically bad.
Right.
And he came and I think he won a settlement with a truck. A truck had hit him or something. So he got, let's say $40,000, $50,000, maybe $100,000. He gets facial surgery because he's going to be a Hollywood, he's going to be a Nashville guy. So he comes to Nashville in the 90s when it's, country music and Christianity and hip hop is all just booming. It's just 90s is just a boom of culture. He drives to Nashville after getting hit by an 18-wheeler in a car. He gets plastic surgery to look sexier, and then he buys a guitar and records a record. If you want to ever laugh, Dennis Reed song. It is so horrible. So he puts this out. Of course, it does nothing. He gets angry because his music's not making it. Nobody cares about it. The promoter's saying, we can't help you. So I believe he decides to rob a Captain D's.
Oh, damn.
Just to make some money. I'm butchering the story. We'll have to come back
Oh,
to
yeah,
Dennis
that's
Reed.
okay. Side note.
Anyway, he killed the 2 employees.
Side note, the first Captain D's ever was in Donaldson in Nashville, Tennessee. The first
Is that
Captain
right?
D's. Yeah. Captain D's.
Captain Donaldson?
Captain D's.
Is that what the D
nuts.
stands for?
Yeah.
Captain Donaldson?
Captain D's nuts.
I didn't know Captain D's was a Tennessee thing.
Yeah, straight up.
My grandma and them used to love
Fried
Captain D's,
fish. That fish sandwich. You ought to know that's Tennessee.
Yeah.
You ought to know that's Tennessee.
Well, man, it's been a wild one. It was a dark one, but it's interesting, and I think we can still learn a lot from.
Yeah. Well, is there anybody else that you wanted to mention? We were talking about. There's other deaths, suspicious deaths in country music, or things. Well, I don't know. There's all the ones that died too soon, like Keith Whitley,
Buddy Holly.
Also, all of that shit is crazy. That's
he died on a plane crash, right?
He did. He died on a plane crash.
I saw a Buddy Holly play. You know who? I was in Maine randomly, and I saw a play, and then all of a sudden these 12 secret agents came in, like these CIA guys. And they came in, they were looking around, and they all got in corners of the room. And I'm like, what the hell? It's only 20 people in here.
Right.
And then followed by them was George Bush Sr.
Oh.
So George Bush Sr. But he had 20. I'm like, what the hell? George Bush Sr.'s here?
Oh, God.
That was just random as hell. But yeah, Buddy Holly died in the,
with the Big Bopper, yet. So that was
he was in his 20s, I think.
Well, you know what else is country music tied in with that is that Waylon Jennings was playing bass at that time. Waylon Jennings was a bass player, and he was supposed to be on that flight.
Is that right?
He was supposed to be on that flight with Buddy Holly, and I'm pretty sure that he gave his ticket to the Big Bopper, something like that, to where he wasn't on that flight anymore, and he decided to ride in the bus with the rest of the band. Wow. And so he didn't die that day, and then that was all before he got his career as an outlaw country musician.
Damn.
I know, that shit is crazy.
I wonder if that scared him from hopping on planes.
I don't know.
Because if I just missed death like that
on
a plane, I don't know about that.
I don't know. They were definitely tearing it up on the ground down here.
Are there any other random mysterious deaths that you think of? I had some written down, but they wasn't familiar to me. Mindy McCready. We might have to come back to her. I don't know anything about her.
That's also
Is she a singer? I don't even know.
That's more recent than the other old. But recent deaths is, you had mentioned this to me earlier as you were talking about Johnny Cash's granddaughter, which is super sad, and this is really fucked up. But this was just
He's
a couple.
He's getting out too, right?
I don't know. I don't want to know. But this was very recent. This was the last 7 years or so.
Was the granddaughter in Nashville when this happened?
She was in Cookeville, which is a hop and a skip away from here, I'm pretty sure. And she and Johnny Cash's granddaughter. She and her boyfriend or her husband or whatever, her man, and then they had like a baby. I think baby was like just under 2 years old or something. But there was some kind of fight happening, something to do with some other man who, I don't know, I don't think it's like a scandal or anything, but this man fucking killed her in cold blood.
Boyfriend?
And then, no, this other person, came to them and then killed her. I'm pretty sure her boyfriend was there, maybe. I can't remember. But he killed her and then he stuffed her in like a container. And her body was found and like terrible stuff. So that is very sad. And
oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I hate that this kind of shit still happens. Is insane. But yeah, the other girl that you said I didn't like know super well or anything like that.
Well, that's crazy. I didn't really know too much about the
Johnny Cash stuff. Well, I know about it too because recently they have like been the family in some way has been trying to bring this back up because they think that someone else was also involved in that murder, and so want not only do they want justice for her, but also
they want the other guy that was involved.
They want the other guy to go down as well, which Damn. So that is all crazy. I can't think of. I know there's more. There's like a million scandals or like.
And there were some petty crimes and stuff, but the big stuff I wanted us to knock out.
Yeah.
Well, there was some like of course there's DUIs and
right
and damn near overdoses.
And there's like people who died too young, like what we said with Keith Whitley, where like he died of alcohol poisoning, which he may have done to himself, but he died really young. Dude, his blood alcohol level was like. It was the equivalent of 20 shots of 100 proof whiskey, basically, or bourbon. Like, it's like the epitome of him having 20 100 proof shots.
Jesus.
So that's how bad he was. Found dead in his bed by another songwriter who was coming over to play golf with him that day or something.
Damn.
But stay in touch with your friends and make plans with your friends.
Yeah, alcohol poisoning, wild way to go, man.
Yeah, that's so sad. But love Keith Whitley. Shout out to all of these amazing people that we've been talking about today.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
I'm proud of you, too, for doing all this research and learning all of this. It's like a
that's
gruesome
what I gotta
topic
lean on.
today.
Until I can, like, officially be a guru, I got to lean on my studies.
I know. Well,
you know what I mean?
Last week we were talking about titties, and this week we're talking about murder and...
things I know about.
Yeah.
Titties and murder.
Josh Black's Country Music Podcast.
Brought to you by Titties, Murder, Crime,
and Delta
drugs.
8. Yeah.
Well, this is good. This was fun. Ironically, we were talking about dark things. But,
it was, yeah.
I think there was some stuff to learn out of all of it.
I think
you know, whether you're just a normal person, whether you're in country music, or if you're in just the business of country. I think we just all got to keep our eyes open out here and trust the gut.
It's true.
Because I think a lot of this, other than the string bean, of course you can look back and say it could be avoided, but
a lot of it is like interpersonal stuff.
Yeah.
Like the shit. Like I keep bringing up Selena, but like when I was a little girl, there wasn't a lot of brown women on the stage rocking it and being. She wasn't a country music artist per se, but Tejano music and like she is like Mexican and I mean, and excuse me if I say anything incorrectly in this moment, but like as far as the culture of that time, she was an icon for like. There was nobody that looked like me on stage when I was a little girl.
Right,
so like I never grew up being like I could be a star because I never thought that was possible. The only person who looked like me, who was a star, got murdered in cold blood while I was a child, and that would be Selena. And she was murdered by her manager, murdered by someone else who was trying to have their hands on her money and their hands on her career, and like so jealous and envious of everything. And like
I always hate the talentless people who get their hands and their teeth into the art and the artist and ruin it for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I thought about the Ed Sheeran. I'm so glad he won that lawsuit against the estate of Marvin Gaye, who I don't even know if Marvin Gaye would.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so Ed Sheeran, he got sued for the Thinking Out Loud song. The Marvin Gaye estate claimed that he had stolen a chord from them and that he owes them money and that song belongs to them.
Oh.
They've also done this before to Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams and T.I. with the song Blurred Lines. And I thought that was a stretch, but they won that lawsuit. And now they were trying to sue.
Plagiarism.
Yeah, they were trying to sue Ed Sheeran. But it was starting to become a slippery slope because it was almost like there's only so many chords a person can use. So if I'm using a chord, you can't say that you own, let's say if you're an artist, you don't own the color green.
Right.
You don't own this chord. And if you do, according to the courts, Ed Sheeran said, I'm done. He said, if I lose this, I'm out because, and to me, it's like, I don't know these people. I don't know who's over the estate, but just
it was literally over. Let's Get It On is like the song that they're saying that he plagiarized.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But see, what happened was when he's performing, he performs thinking out loud and then meshes it and goes into Let's Get It On. And I guess I'm assuming that triggered somebody's ear and said, I think we got money here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or in there, I would say they probably thought in their head, I think he's taking our thing and we should get money for it or blah, blah, blah.
For sure. And there's plenty of cases where like that is what's happening and that people don't have their own ideas.
Not to be a pun, but the lines are blurred because it's like, I'm glad he won that case.
Right.
Because I think that could be bad for music to get non-musicians, non-artists, these businesses, these suits, and these family members with no talent in music to put their claws into the art and their claws onto chords and the artists. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, fam. Well, we love this song. The song is great. He's not trying to, as many artists, especially even, and I hate when you do this because you're almost like crying wolf because there's so many things historically when white people have culturally exploited black people and stolen from them and then took it out. So I hate when you
taboo-ness of it.
Yeah, so I hate when you almost do a false call because it leaves too much to say like, oh, it's all bullshit. It's almost like you cry wolf. Let's like wait till when they actually do steal something or exploit or do something maliciously and try to scold them.
Right.
I don't know if
you said it right when you said slippery slopes because it's just so hard to really know. But that
seems like a reach to me.
There are cases like this where it's just so interesting because there are people right now who are winning awards and like making a lot of money off of recycling and upusing a song that already exists. And in those moments, it's like a hat tip to the original song, and maybe it will revive someone else's career.
Right.
Like that's been like. Right.
And because of that, when you do that, the person whose original song is it, they get kickbacks and they get money.
And so when it's working like that, it's good. It can be
but when you
this
think
exchange.
When you think somebody stole it and you're not getting back, that's when it's. But then it's like, who says who stole what? And it's I
know people right now in 2 blocks away that are writing songs, stealing other people's songs that came out years ago, just a few years ago, and then people are trying to rewrite them now better, and. Just because they can't come up with original ideas. But that's real. That's still happening. So it's interesting to see in cases like this where it is maybe more of a stretch. But I'm going to have to look and see. This is not a country music reference, but this is funny. Okay. This reminds me of the Ariana Grande and Princess Nokia drama. Do you remember this? Okay. Oh, my God. Wow. So Princess Nokia had a song that was about hair and is about, I'm trying to remember what it was called. Is like, fuck, I'm gonna sound ignorant. Princess Nokia wrote the first one, right? And then Ariana Grande, who is Italian, by the way. You know that about her? You know she's actually like not a black girl?
Oh, I knew she wasn't black.
Okay. Well, some people absolutely want her to be, and they love her for that, and that's...
Ariana Grande? I mean, what the hell, dude?
I know. No, she's got the Kardashian.
Like, you know my boy Jamal Jenkins, the Asian kid? Like, hold on, what?
Yeah, she's Italian. But anyway, her song was called, it's the one that's like, even the beat is the same. The flow is the same, the beat is the same, the lyrics are the same. And it's the one like 7 Rings or whatever I think is what it's called. Ariana Grande, Princess Nokia.
And they sued each other about this?
I think that Ariana Grande got away with it. Oh. But Princess Nokia accuses Ariana Grande of copying her on new song 7 Rings. Yes, and her song is ripping off, what is the name? of the fucking song that is Princess Nokia's song that I
Ariana
like
Grande
better.
Respond to that?
I think no. I don't think that they even like really fully. But when you listen to the two, I can't remember the song now. All I see
it's tough, man. It's tough with theft. I know in comedy, it gets like that, and it's hard because I'll have a great joke about. I had a joke about reincarnation, and then I went to Zany's here in Nashville Comedy Club, where we all go to, the home club, and Theo Von came out, and he did a joke. He had never seen me do a joke before, but he came out before me and did a reincarnation joke that was damn near just like mine. But in comedy, what you have to do when a bigger comedian has a joke that's close to yours, you got to get rid of it. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to say it and everybody's going to say, you stole that from Theo Von, you son of a bitch, because he's bigger.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Damn.
So with comedy, I've learned to not be so attached to it. It's like I created it, I think it's mine, but it's, so you kind of, you love your babies and your creations as a creative, but then sometimes you got to let go a little bit, man. Because you don't want to be the guy crying, saying that somebody stole something. Ironically, I've done that before because it is annoying.
You just got to keep it fresh. You just got to let it inspire you, which is so frustrating because I have no tolerance. My threshold is very low for like Steve's biters. If like,
I feel you.
I love when people admire other people and they like want to be like you or something. That's fine. And I'm not even talking just for myself, but just in general. Yeah, Steve's biting is insane.
I just got into it on Twitter with some Titans fans.
Oh God! Because, no, I remember
the Titans had a commercial, and they used a lot of Nashville celebrities, and they didn't. They didn't call me.
This incredible host that they could have had who's been doing street interviews in downtown Nashville.
Yeah, and they didn't use me, but they had a lot of black folks in there. They had a lot of comics in there.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really tripping at all. It's just this one piece of content that I've become known for here is going on the street with my microphone and asking questions of people. Mind you, this art form has been around since probably the 20s. Everybody does it, but I could tell
for the reaction.
I could tell that in the meeting they were like, "We got to get Josh Black for this." And they were like, for some reason, they were like, I don't think so. But if you really think about it, I'm a comedian, and I'm not clean, and I have opinions.
Right.
And I don't know if our fan bases are the same. The NFL fans, who are not huge fans of Colin Kaepernick, may not be accept. Because we'll put it like this. I'm a poke with race, sex, gender, heterosexuality, homosexuality, and I think they were kind of like, our conservative fans ain't trying to hear that. So anyway, I went up and just like, I wish they would have called me for this. This would have been fun. This is trash. It should have been me. And then all the Titans fans were like, how dare you? And I could just tell this had nothing. This was simply because I was black. You know what I mean? And it's just a way for them to get it off.
That they were trying, like that it made you feel as if
how dare you talk about the Titans? I'm like, bro, this is for football team. Stop dick riding. Who cares? Like who gives a shit? And then some people were taking it on the other step and saying they're stealing from black creatives, they're racist, and I'm like, whoa! I think both sides are doing too much right now.
Right?
They're not stealing from black creatives. I definitely inspired them to do that,
and they could have found a way to involve you that would have made you feel appreciated, even, or
And I don't give a shit. I truly don't. Like I did. Like of course, when I wake up in the morning and I see somebody pretty much doing my content.
Right.
It's annoying, but I understand the game.
Right.
So it wasn't that deep. So I had to tell some people, look, it's not necessarily racist.
It's not necessarily racist, but I understand the taboo of everything too. And then for you as well, I feel like you are very good at like in jest as a comedian. Like all of the hot points are like the sensitive subjects are the point of comedy. So
and exactly,
it makes sense, and I do understand what you mean with like a bigger brand like that, not wanting to.
They might be scared, and that's what I chose to do with my path as a comedian, and also sometimes it just ain't right for this moment.
Well, and now though, here you are submerged into country music.
What up, baby?
And which is unfamiliar territory for you, and you're doing the work and you're learning all about it and all the things. I think one thing that makes us like good for these kinds of conversations is like the things that are taboo that maybe do upset people or like cause some kind of feelings that we're all still figuring out. Like we can approach those things delicately and together. And you and I have different opinions, and a lot of our viewers are gonna have different opinions.
For sure. And as long as like I just don't want any just don't be a loser or an asshole.
Right.
just like I disagree. I think you're dumb for that, and just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Like it ain't. I don't like. Let's get over the crying shit. Unless I'm like, or somebody's physically harming you, bro. Let's just get over it. I'm gonna have opinions. You gonna have opinions. I'm gonna think they dumb, and then we can just go drink.
Everybody just wants to cancel everything all the time because
ever
since
and
we
both
got
sides
a keyboard,
be doing that.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's the people on the left bitching and crying a lot.
Yeah.
But then on the far right, they get a little bitchy too. So like, just stop the crying, bro. So I don't even know how we got there from murder, but
well,
it has a beautiful little rant we went on. I like that.
Well, I think we're just here to keep the peace with everybody. And country music, too. There's so many different things in it. And like you said, we're in Tennessee, and there's a lot of different people here. A lot of different things going on. A lot of different delicate subjects.
But it's fun, though. It's fun. It's fun to talk about them, to get into them. I listen to, I'm so far from a Republican, but I listen to Fox News all the time just to hear it. Just to see what the hell people think. Now, mind you, I'm having a political break right now because I'm still exhausted from 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, I really genuinely, I can't. It's hard to watch the news because it's just like, I don't want to be scared today. Like it's COVID or it's AI or it's murderous or it's robbers. It's like it's like I'm tired of being fucking scared every day, bro.
Me too.
Russia's gonna kill us. China's gonna kill us. The liberals are gonna kill us. The Republicans are gonna kill us. Like so I'm taking a breather. You don't want to be too far from it.
Well,
and not know like what the weather is outside, but
right.
At the same time, I think it's gonna take me a few years to wash how intense
the last few years
was.
Have been. Yeah,
that shit with COVID and the Trump versus Biden was very intense.
Well, all of that and I think like outside of just politics, the whole thing for me about politics is that like there's always dishonesty in everything. So like even though there are people that have different views, my views on politics aren't like about it either side. My views are that everything's fucked and like we're all just trying to make it. So like
I think both sides could agree with that.
I'm going to find common ground with everybody because I don't think that what other people are doing with their money and our money and everything else should have anything to do with how you and I get along in a room or I get along with anybody else. So I'm same as you. I can't handle it anymore. It's like, it's not the crux of my identity. And like all of that stuff is like, we lived it. Everybody had to go through like this, like unveiling of like pulling the curtain back on like how hard things have been for everybody. And then now all we can do is just move forward and do better. And
I found like, because as a black person, I feel like I do have a responsibility if I have a microphone in any way just to speak towards the plight of black people and helping black people and working class people. But I think I can still do that through comedy and through podcasting as opposed to being like front lines, going to community meetings and shit and being around activists who I love. Shit is just too exhausting. I can't do it.
Kudos to you if you're doing it.
And I think activists should be paid $1 million a day because they're sacrificing their life to fight for the people. But I don't want to think about this shit all day.
I don't either.
Eat some shrooms and think about how trees are beautiful.
Yeah.
Which you could call escape. Sure.
You could.
God damn it. But I'm only here for 100 years. I don't want to cry every day.
Well, I think that all in all, we're trying to do right in Tennessee, make everybody feel better.
We're doing it.
And hope there's no upcoming murders on Music Row.
Don't get murdered out there, y'all.
Y'all stay safe. Also, if you know any other funny things or like murder things,
any wild country music stories y'all got, send them in. We'll break it down.
Country music conspiracies.
Ooh, I love that. Love that. Love some good conspiracies. All right, make sure you subscribe, follow, and comment on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok, on Instagram at Country Fried Special. I'm Joshua Black at Sir Joshua Black. Where can they find you?
I'm Gowa. I'm at Gowagram on the Instagram.
Beautiful. We will see y'all next time. Be safe.
See you next time.
Boom.